Okay, so here we are. We are back after a couple of weeks off. It's nice to have everybody back, although it looks like we have Todd back, we have Shane back, and Rose, unfortunately, is not here, but she will be here hopefully next time. And so we will have her character being run by one of her friends here, so that's cool. We'll trudge on. Just a couple of quick things. We did finally hit over 100 likes on the YouTube page, so I'm excited. We're sitting at 107. And I can honestly tell you that it was a direct result of James's efforts, getting us a nice shout out on the Spiel, which is a podcast in the gaming area. And they were really nice to us, and they were extremely nice to James, because evidently he does a lot of work for them. And that was really awesome. So thank you, James, for that. I also just met, at the store, the guys behind Rolling Dice and Taking Names, the podcast out of Charlotte. They were in there this week, and we were chit-chatting, and so we're talking about maybe figuring out how we can leverage that as well. So more to come on that as we go. But other than that, does anybody else have anything they want to shout out about? Walk a Mile in Shoes there, Roberta?
Yeah, it was...
Be here, you do good?
I actually thought about doing a commercial and sending it to you. It's Domestic Abuse Awareness Month, and we are members of, Chris and I are both members of the Beard and Mustache Club, and we do Walk a Mile in His Shoes every year, but it was virtual this year.
So if you can find Michael Dudish's Facebook page, his calves are amazing. So just going to leave that there.
I'll throw a picture up before we get a break.
Okay. Just the calves?
Of just the calves.
Well,
yeah,
I've got a picture from it was virtual this year. It was virtual last year. I have a picture from 2 years ago with, so Walk a Mile is the guys all have to wear women's shoes, and they have a competition over who can have the most amazing shoes.
Yay.
We're talking like 6-inch heels, with 4-inch platforms, walking and miling them. It's amazing.
Wow.
So if you live in Charlotte, every year, it's out at Noda Brewery. It is worth going just to watch.
I can think of a few people I want to see do this.
You have to have a beard.
No, you don't.
Oh, you knew exactly who I was talking about. Maybe Doug can't grow a beard.
You don't even have to have a beard to be in the Beard and Mustache Club, but
I know, but Joe knew exactly who I was talking about, and this kid can't grow a beard or a mustache. It still works.
I want to think he can.
He can't.
So,
I mean, okay, so he can get like a few like pubic hairs on his chin.
All right.
And that's about it. However, the last time he was at my house, he walked around in my high heels, and he's very good at it. So I would like to see if I can try to get him to grow something so he can do this, because it'd be great.
Only the Beard and Mustache Club has beards.
Oh, okay.
This is an amazing, guys from all over the city show up. I think the goal this year was like $10,000, and I think we came pretty close, but I haven't checked today.
So the Beard and Mustache Club of North Carolina, you can Google it, you can check it out. It's a good group. The Be Hairy, Do Good. That was a fundraiser going on to take on domestic abuse. So that's awesome.
Yep.
So
I'll put the number, or I'll put the
yeah, and what we can do is send me a link, and when I post this episode, I'll be sure to put a link into it as well.
Check out the description
below. And with that, give us a like and subscribe. We could use a few more. We're waiting on YouTube to contact us and say, okay, here's your dedicated URL. But in the meantime, we will get started. Here we go. Took me a second to find. I thought I had it turned on. I did not. Okay, so when we were last together, you had just completed the battle with the Strahd zombies in the churchyard at the church in Barovia, where Father Donovich's son, Doru, was freed by Strahd and left with Strahd, who he serves. Doru serves Strahd. But you defeated the zombies that were there and were able to take a refuge for the evening in the church there at Barovia. Father Donovich was going to stay because he needs to keep a beat on where his son is, and hopefully we'll be able to recover him at some point and save him from this existence that he has as a vampire spawn. The rest of the party, at Ismark's insistence, began to depart Barovia and make their way west beyond the gates into the broader cove that Barovia exists in this part of the mountains. You're seeking a place where it will be safe for his sister Irina, and you believe that the town of Valaki or St. Markovia, which is beyond that in Kresik, will be a place of refuge. The party last go around left, but they left two behind. Jack and Quill wanted to see what was available at the mercantile there in Barovia. As you left the church, you went your separate ways. The party made it its way down the old Sphalic Road, past the gallows, past the turnoff that would have taken you to the Vistani camp at the Sur Pools. You made your way to the other gate on the western side of Barovia, where you were greeted by a black carriage with a horse, but nobody in it. As you approached, the door opened as if to invite you in. You refused the invitation and eventually made your way through the gates with some strength and effort to continue down the old Sphalic Road, where you encountered the Bavanshi once again that you had seen, and some of you had seen in Ash Vale days ago. You battled and defeated the Bavanshi. And as you did so, the clouds darkened, and you sensed that there was an anger coming from the east that would be around the place of Ravenloft Castle. You then continued your way forward, choosing not to investigate the old bone grinder, but to make your way at the warning of seemingly a warning from a raven to pass that up and continue until you found your way to the gates of Valaki. And outside the gates, where you found wolves' heads on pikes, you began to approach the iron doors. But before we pick up that part of the story, let's go back to Barovia, back in time, to Jack and Quill. As you are departing to the right to make your way out of town, Jack and Quill make their way into Bildrath's Mercantile. There at the intersection, across the way from the blood on the vine. So, you walk in. You approach. I'll let you decide if you walk in.
This is the mercantile right off the frontage road, right?
Yeah, it's the one you saw previously. You know, there was that intersection. I can probably throw a map up of Barovia for you.
That's all right. I'm okay with walking in. How about you, Jack?
Yeah, I'm gonna walk in and say, "Hail and well met, good traveler."
Okay.
Do I see anybody that I'm yelling this at?
Well, let me just do this real
Or do I
fast.
just yell it into an empty store? Because that also sounds like me.
That does sound like you.
It does sound like me.
Very much. Okay, so hopefully on your maps you would see the village of Barovia.
Yes.
I'm going to just center on the building
there we
here.
go.
There we go. So I'm going to
That store.
center on the building. Okay, so this building, Bildrath's Mercantile, it's a sparse building, little bit of, it's morning time still, so the lights are kind of dim. There are some, heavy curtains from when it's closed, but it's morning time, and so those have been pulled aside, and you can kind of see the lantern light still kind of making their way out. And as you go in, the establishment appears to be about 70 feet by 40 feet. And you see a gentleman in there, human, medium build. He is just sort of looking, like unpacking things and like putting them on a shelf. And he sees you come in and he goes, how can I help you today?
Are you looking for anything specific? Because I wasn't.
Well, I'm first of all, I'm going to tell him that I'm glad he's not one of those, half zombie, pseudo undead people.
We should probably see if he even knows what those are.
So, hey, I'm Quill. Can you tell me anything about the weirdness of this place?
Your town's weird. Tell me about it.
Why is your town so weird?
Can you be more? Can you be more specific? I'm not sure what you find to be weird.
Weird.
Yeah, well,
I mean, I'm sitting here, don't get me wrong, stranger, but I'm kind of looking at you thinking it's kind of ironic that you're the one saying that things here are a little weird. No offense. I'm just
mean.
Well, we don't get too many of those. That's a very interesting set of ears you have there, sir. We don't see that very often here, but it's fine. I wouldn't have brought it up if you didn't start with the whole weird thing.
I can tell you why I think it's peculiar. Let's say I didn't mean to offend.
No taken. I'm just just trying to understand.
There's this seemingly overlord type person named Strahd who shows up out of thin air with hellhounds and the like. Town looks like it doesn't have much color to it. People seem to be generally depressed. I'm trying to understand what's going on here, and if you can give me any information about that, I'd sure appreciate it.
Well, so so let me get this straight. You have come into an establishment that sells things to make a living, but you don't want the things. You just want some information about Lord Strahd and this town in which I make my living in. Am I clear in what you're asking me there?
No, sir, I apologize. I intend to buy something, but I'm looking for things that will help me navigate my way through this peculiar town of yours.
All right. Well, that's, I'm wondering, because it's clear to me you're not from around here, that maybe we're just having what I would say is a bit of a communication mismatch. But that's okay. It's not a failure to communicate. It's just sort of a communication breakdown, let's say. So let's start with Lord Strahd. He is our true Lord and benefactor. We are all. This is his town. I mean, we exist here. And now obviously we have had a burgermeister. I heard that he passed away. I don't know if his son is going to take it or not, although it appears that the mansion has been burned to the ground. That just happened yesterday. I don't know if you were aware of that.
Yeah, I heard about it.
So we're all kind of curious as to, what the hell happened there, but that's a different issue. Anyway, so Strahd is our Lord. We are, we don't serve him per se. We're not like his slaves, but I mean, we do exist in the shadow of his castle, and, we exist here. Now, Barovia this village has been like this all my life, so to me, this is normal.
I understand. understand.
I'm not really sure, you know, how you would say it's dismal. I mean, we had strange things happen here, but I guess they're not strange if they've happened your whole life.
You know what? You're absolutely right. So let me ask this. Do you have anything in the store that somebody might use if they want to be, say, under the radar, maybe not quite so easily observable by your Lord Strahd?
Like like something magical?
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Magic's good.
We're not really that kind of store. We're more, you know, adventuring kind of gear.
Right.
You know, I got some things like, you know, from a magical perspective, if you need something that gives you sort of the ability to focus, I can help you with that. Or if you need like a holy symbol of the Morning Lord, we can help you there. But for those are, you know, things that we've traded here and there. I don't really get involved in too much beyond the basics. And then, of course, we have, you know, your normal kind of stuff. You need a backpack. You need some rope. Maybe some climbing gear. You know.
All right.
Stuff like
I
that.
sure appreciate your time. I'll take a couple of Cliff Bars and a 10 feet of this rope, and that'll be good.
All right. Well, I don't know what this Cliff Bar thing is that you're talking about, but
These things right here in the package, see?
Do you
They
want
got a little mountain on them.
do you want hemp rope or do you want silk rope?
Tell you what, give me 10 feet of each.
Well, they come in 50 foot.
All right. Well, I don't know if I want to carry 100 feet of rope around with me. I'll take 50 feet of the hemp, please.
All right, that'll be 10 gold pieces.
Well, I can't afford 10 gold pieces.
Well, then I guess
Pricey
you
stuff
Yeah, it is pretty expensive
for a
rope.
small town.
Well, you know, when you're the only game in town, you kind of get to set your prices.
Price gouging.
Yeah, it is a little bit. It's all right. Well, I tell you what, I'll put the rope back, and I'll just take these snacks, and thank you for your time.
Well, I'll tell you what, you can just keep those snacks. I'm not even sure where those things came from, so I'd be careful if I eat those if I were you.
I love it.
Thank you, sir.
My pleasure. Tell your friends, come back and see me. You'll eventually need something I got. I think it'll be a while before you get out of this place. If you get out.
Yeah, Jack,
Well,
why
that
don't you
sounds like a
why don't you talk to my new friend here at the Mercantile?
Hi, good sir. How are you?
Oh, I thought this fellow was your muscle.
What does that mean?
I see I'm not too far off.
I feel insulted, but I don't know. My good man, do you have any healing potions?
I guess you weren't paying real close attention to what I had answered your
Not
friend.
really.
I really don't work in those magical items kind of world.
Do you have
Other
any
than
snack bars that make me feel better?
if you want to feel better, there's a place across the street called Blood of the
up, I'm
Vine. They got some wine.
I mean, I'm not gonna say no.
So I would head over there if you need something to
Oh,
make you
goodness.
feel better. But it is kind of early in the day. I know you people from out of town always seem to think it's 5 o'clock somewhere or something like that. I never know what that really means, but
That's alcoholic logic.
mm.
Putting a time on drinking. I don't really need anything. I haven't been using any of the spells that require me to have a thing behind it. And Gwendolyn's enough. I don't need more with her.
So basically what you're telling me is y'all come in here and gotten a little bit of information and taken my snack bars. That's fine. Anything else?
We did give you business, so are you really complaining?
Well, have you paid for anything, sir?
Business doesn't always mean paying for things. It's sometimes just expanding your marketplace.
Are you trying to tell me that you gave me the business? Is that your
yeah,
approach?
because if we go to our party and say, hey, you know, that mercantile is pretty cool, that's future business that we are adding on to.
I really don't need any kind of influencers or sponsors or
What's an influencer?
anything like that. I have no idea. It just was a word that came to me.
Okay, so don't share your business around? Is that what you're saying?
In fact, it might be better that you didn't tell people that you got stuff from me. That might actually do me better.
I don't understand how your store's open, sir.
And with that level of exasperation, he just throws his hands up and walks away. You do notice sort of in the back of this, sort of off to the side, you haven't really, because you've been so engaging with this gentleman, there's a larger, I mean, not like larger in terms of like a complete creature size larger, but I mean a large person that just seems to be doing some heavy lifting, bringing boxes in and out, sort of like he might work there. Yeah.
Yeah, well, what an engaging conversation we just had with the fellow at the mercantile. I suppose we should move along, unless you want to do something, Jack.
No, I'm good. But did we have a good time there?
Oh yeah. I found the service to be top notch.
You did. No, I'm good. Let's rejoin the party.
Okay, so I'm going to say that all of that interaction and separation, you were probably away from each other for about an hour. Just to kind of give some separation between the two groups. By the time you got down there, they opened, you got in, you kind of meandered around, you talked to the guy. Maybe by the time you get to the gates of Barovia to leave the town, I'd say it was about an hour behind them. Maybe that's a fair way to kind of look at it. So you guys make your way down out of the village. You go past the same gallows that y'all have passed numerous times before. And they're empty. You both have not had that experience, I believe, that Gunloda experienced. Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, okay.
Only Gunloda has.
Right, that's kind of what I thought, but I just wanted to validate. So you made your way past those gallows. You've crossed the River Ivlis a couple of times. Then you reach that crossroad again where you can go to the right and go to the Sur Pool encampment, or you can go to the left and Quill.
Which way did they go?
Quill, I need you to you got a pretty high perception, but I'd like for you to make an investigation check.
All right. Coming up.
12. Okay.
Yeah.
Not great, not bad. And what you notice is that you can tell that there's some footprints here that are a little bit more fresh within the last hour or so. And they go off to the left.
Now, Jack, best I can tell is we need to go left. You up for that?
Lead the way, man.
All right. I'm actually going to slap you on the back, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to cast a long strider on you.
Aw,
and that way
so nice.
we can boogie down the road a little more quickly.
Wait, what are you trying to say?
Just saying that I'm an elf and I'm faster than you are.
Damn.
Okay. With this
Insult.
new non-human ability, you feel like you're power walking at the mall with your sneakers. And you make your way across the map and or across the road. That you're still on the old Sphalic road. You find your way coming up on a bridge. And the bridge you cross, you get to the bridge rather, and there is sort of couple of gargoyles, if you will, on either side of the bridge, and there is a sort of a slickness look to the bridge. The gargoyles are cloaked in black moss. They have frowns that are weather worn, and on the left side of the bridge itself, you see this waterfall spilling into the pool of water, and then the water's going under the bridge, and then it continues down, and you can kind of get a sense that probably drains into where the Vistani camp was that you stayed a while back. Do you cross the bridge?
I'm going to do a perception check, I think, is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Okay, give me a perception check.
I'm on fire tonight.
You are. Okay, so you rolled an 11.
But I rolled a 7.
Oh, well, there you
With
go.
the +4, yeah.
There you go. Well, you're above 10. That's, level 3. That's okay. I mean, it looks like a bridge. There doesn't appear to be anything. The gargoyles appear to be made of stone. You don't really
Gargoyles made of stone.
notice anything else. Are you taking notes finally?
No.
Okay, just checking.
God forbid.
You silly man.
Just the exasperated head shake, like, no.
Yeah. No. Gargoyles are scary.
Yeah, they can be.
They can be. And
They
so that's
can
why
be,
I'm
yes.
like,
They can be. So
I don't like that you said that.
Okay. So what do you do?
Well, and you said that there's nothing super noticeable. Oh, no, you said it looks like a bridge, which is making me think.
I said based on an 11 perception that it looks like a bridge.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what I said. Yes.
Sure as
I
hell
only
looks
get-
like a bridge. Yeah.
I only get a +1 with perception, so I doubt.
Or you get a 50-50 chance of doing as well as an 11.
That's true.
If
Yeah.
you get a +1.
But I could also
That's-
investigate. I kind of want to investigate the gargoyles because I
Okay.
don't trust them.
Well,
They're scary.
then give me an investigation check.
I will. Yes. 3.
Those are some gargoyles.
Wow. Yep.
Is this rock?
Jack's like, no, this is rock, and he pulls out Gwendolyn and starts playing. So
That's a nice boulder. What, baby?
well, yeah. So looks like a stone gargoyle.
Yeah.
Really good craftsmanship.
Maybe we shouldn't be, at our own devices anymore. We don't seem to be able to roll very well.
Good. Oh, hello. Could I roll an acrobatics check to go across the bridge as lightly as possible?
Acrobatics or athletics?
Well, athletics is more about like strength and stuff, right? Isn't acrobatics more of the dexterous thing?
It could be. It depends. I guess what I'm trying to say to you is that I would probably say I would accept.
Listen, it's either a +3 or a +4.
I will accept either.
Well, I'd rather use acrobatics because that's a +4.
Well, then use your acrobatics.
I will. I'm going to be graceful as a ballerina dancer.
Okay.
And it'll be great. There we go. 18.
18. Yeah, without any major issue, you are able to cross the bridge. There is a little bit of slipperiness to it because of just the way that the water is, spraying off of the mountain and sort of giving you that sense of collection of that moss and stuff, but you don't slip and fall or anything with an 18. You do fine.
Okay, I want to warn Todd that
Cool.
that it's
Quill.
slippery and
Quill is his name.
Quill, that's right. That it's slippery
Mhm.
and to be careful.
See, if I had my 50 feet of hemp rope now, I could throw the rope to you and you could pull me across.
Don't we stir with rope in a basic traveler's pack?
I would think
I
so.
don't think I have any. So you know what? I'm going to
Did we
do
start
like
with basic traveler's packs?
I'm going to do a belly flop and just do like slip and slide style across the bridge.
You have fun with that.
All right, I'm going to want a performance check, please.
Performance check.
Oh, see, I could have done that. I'm a good performer.
Take this.
Yes. So using your speed, you take a couple of steps back and you run and you fling yourself forward, belly flop, and you kind of hit the bridge mid crest, and then the slipperiness of the bridge just continues to coast you over as you kind of land on the other side, right around Jack's feet. Your front is covered with moss and slick moss and blech. And as you look behind you, you can just sort of see this track that you've made as your body propelled forward down the slope of the bridge.
Oh, if only he does this saying, "I'm an otter, I'm an otter."
And because you flung yourself in that way, I'm going to ask you to take 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh man.
All right. Well,
Body
I'd do
weight.
it again.
Huh?
I'd do it again.
You do it again. That's fine. Yeah, it's totally cool. So you're kind of mess up. Too bad you don't have was it prestidigitation that would help you clean yourself off? But anyway, you continue on up the old Sphalic Road past the Sayre Falls. As you continue, you come to a crossroad, or you are approaching a crossroad, and you see in the distance a black carriage with a horse out in front of it.
Is it a spooky horse?
Actually, I'm sorry. There's two horses.
Are they spooky horses?
They're black.
That's racist to assume that just because they're black, they might be spooky.
Well, I just gave you a descriptor.
No, I got that.
So you can infer.
Well,
or
do they look like there's flesh rotting? Do they have a horrible aura coming from them?
Well,
like, do they have horribly bright red eyes?
Well, you're not close. You're not close enough to discern any of those things.
Oh, okay.
So
Even
you're far enough. Well, it's daylight. I mean, it is misty. It is cloudy because there's never really any sunshine in Barovia, but it is lit, and it is the horse and the buggy is there. It's almost as if it's waiting for you.
I don't trust that shit. That sounds scary. Dog.
What color's the dog?
Blackish brown. With a little cute bandana thing on. Quill.
Yeah.
You see that over there?
Yeah. I don't know what to think about that. Who could it be and what are they doing stuck there by the side of the road?
If Gunloda was here, she'd go check it out. She's so brave.
I know.
Are we brave?
No. You want to sneak down there and see what they're doing?
I do have good sneaky skills.
I've got okay sneaky skills, I think.
Yeah, can we stealth our way over there?
Yeah, we're gonna stealth.
All right, so just so you're clear, you're on. So the road you're on is a well-worn road. It's a well-traveled road. It's a road that you're not currently surrounded by trees. You're kind of in that grassy ridge top kind of thing. So if you've ever been, and I talked about this the last time, if you've ever been on the Appalachian Trail and you've been up by where the balds are and the trees kind of dissipate and you've just sort of got this expanse.
That's kind of, neither of us were here last time.
I understand, but what I'm trying to, but that's for the people who might have watched the last episode and are watching this episode as well. I'm trying to be helpful as the narrator, also as the narrator. Anyway, so as you move through this, it might be hard to be stealthy But I will let you try. You're welcome to try, and let's see what happens. But just keep in mind,
We're not quitters.
you're just not. You're not gonna like vanish. Okay.
Right.
18. I'm
All right,
stealthy.
let's see.
18 and 19. Okay.
We're stealthy.
So with that
We are
said,
stealthy.
you're far enough away that if you wanted to go off the beaten path to the left and kind of crawl around in the grass, you could probably
Snake style.
get past this without having to encounter the horse.
Well, that's the question. Do we want to pass it or do we want to actually check it out? Investigate it more. Because Joe's saying it looks like it might be there for us. And listen, I got a very heavy guitar axe that I have to carry around, and a carriage ride doesn't sound like a bad idea because Jack doesn't get those kind of luxuries in life all the time, despite being this world famous rock star that no one remembers.
Well, I tell you what. Why don't we just stealthily mosey on down the road and say howdy to whoever it is in the carriage.
Can I get a sneak advantage in case they're scary?
I will say that you have a 19 and 18 to stealth.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
So y'all proceed forward.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
as you head down the road, you're very light-footed, and you don't seem to be leaving a trace behind you for some strange reason. Okay, because of the stealth.
Yeah.
So as you approach the carriage, I'm going to ask you guys to give me an investigation check because you asked some questions a while back. 16, okay, and 4. So Quill, you notice that these horses are just appear to be just draft horses. The carriage and the horses are both jet black. There does not appear to be any kind of teamster or any other union member. No, there doesn't appear to be a teamster or anybody there. But as you approach the carriage, the door opens.
Do I see anybody on the other side of the door?
Nope. Jack,
Does the door open so that I see the face of the door and not inside the carriage?
the door is open in such that you could peer inside the carriage if you want.
And I see nothing in the carriage.
Are you peering inside the carriage?
I'm peering inside the carriage.
All right. As you begin to peer inside the carriage, Jack hears an E minor flat 7th chord.
Oh boy, here we go.
Oh, I wouldn't do that.
But you do not see anybody or anything in the carriage.
All right.
Quill, I don't like this.
Yeah, it
at
doesn't.
all.
I don't hear the chord, but
If you were closer, depending on how far you are away from Jack, you could hear it as well.
yeah, but I got the hair standing up in the back of my neck. I'm not sure what good can come from us getting any closer to this thing.
So do you back away? Go ahead.
Jack votes to walk away from this carriage and not look back.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So, you begin to wander towards the left, away from where the carriage is. And as you get about 100 feet away, you hear the creak of a door as the carriage door shuts by itself. If you look back, you would see this. And then the horses begin to meander back up the road from which they came, which would have been to the right, the road that you didn't take. And it leaves.
Dodged a bullet.
Now,
Well, yeah, it's forever a mystery now. But
As it walked
I'm all right.
away.
as it walked away.
Yeah.
And as you continue down the road, Quill, because of your passive perception, you notice a mound of dirt, I believe, on the ground that is pointing towards these gates that you see before you. I may need somebody from the party last time to remind me exactly. I believe that's what you guys did. You did.
It's an arrow. Yep, we left an arrow shape on the ground.
An arrow shape. Yeah, so there's an arrow shape on the ground, I think, made out of the dirt, pointing towards the gate that is in front of you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate that.
So what you see is, if you recall from when you entered Barovia to begin with, from the Bryson area, there was those gates that you came to, and you went through the gates, and then the gates shut behind you. These are gates on the western side of the village of Barovia, and seem to also open. And as you approach those gates, you experience the very same thing that you did before. The gates automatically open for you, and you may proceed through the gates. Do you do that?
Yeah, Jack. Let's find everybody else. I'm I'm feeling like we want some strength in numbers here.
Okay.
So
I'm scared.
Don't be scared. Let's just go.
Okay.
alrighty then. So as you make your way past the gates, you wander for a little bit, and then you kind of, as I said, that bald area begins to come crowded with trees again. So you're kind of in a pass that's, you have trees to your left and trees to your right, so it's not as open as it was, and so you really can't see necessarily into the woods and the distance to your left and right the way you could as when you were sort of in that open space. You walk for a while, and you do see the resemblance or the aftermath of a battle. There's blood on the ground. You don't, mysteriously enough, you don't see any dead quarry, but you do see the obvious scuffle that only a battle of sorts would have entailed. And there is evidence of dripping blood, etc. It's dried a bit. Maybe it's an hour or so old. But yeah, that is what you encounter there. Do you continue forward?
Yep.
Okay.
I follow behind.
So you continue further down the road, and you come to another crossroad. And the road continues along the way to the right. But you also have a road now going to your left. And the left is... let me make sure I have this right to pull that up and have the right descriptor. To the road begins a transition here to a trail that's headed along the mountainside, and then there's a road that kind of leads up to an onion domed type of edifice that looks like it might be some sort of a grist mill.
Are there any signs that might direct me which way I want to go? I mean, I've always wanted to visit a grist mill.
There's
So,
unlike what you experienced before with the mound and the obvious arrow, there's nothing obvious. However, I would invite you to make an investigation check on the ground. 16. So periodically particularly after the battle, you periodically see evidence of some, dripping blood, nothing like gushed, but just like occasionally you might notice evidence of a drip that may have landed on a rock or something that is, clearly people have come this way recently. And in this instance, you see you've periodically seen evidence of the footprints that you believe belong to your friends, just because of the number of feet and the number of people that were ahead of you, and just sort of the gates, etc. And you seem to notice that these continue on the path; that they do not deviate off of the main road, from what you can tell.
all right. I really wish I knew if they saw it and decided to ignore it, or if we're seeing it for the first time. I think Jack, I mean, I'll do whatever you want, but I think I want to really try and catch up with the party.
No, I do too, because I'm scared. But where are they?
Well, they went that way, it looks like.
So let's go.
All right.
Okay. So y'all head along the way for a bit. And all of this has been, an afternoon, an afternoon almost to kind of, I think we decided it was 8 hours or 7 hours or so. I'd have to go back and look at my notes between the time you left Barovia to the time you reach. But ultimately, you would catch up at the gates of Appalachia, but we're going to hold off there because your friends in the party would have arrived at that gate before you. So you're not going to just show up and encounter them at the gate. So we're going to switch to the other party and kind of catch them up, and then we'll find a way to rendezvous you folks inside Appalachia. Okay?
Great.
Forgot my handy dandy resource map here. I know. It's wonderful. Okay. So, we reached the other party. We have Ismark, Irina, Rain, Shoshana, and Gunloda, and Hal.
Yeah.
You have arrived at the town of Appalachia. When we last left, you were outside the gates. And while you approached those gates, you saw planted in the ground and flanking the road outside of those gates about a half dozen pikes with wolves' heads impaled upon them. And then you approach this gate that is has iron chains and has padlocks, but it doesn't appear to be locked because it's daytime. And as you approach and you're kind of all looking at this strange display of lichen heads, wolves' heads, Ismark looks at you all and says, let me talk to the guards. I've been here before. They if they don't know me, they know of me. Let me get us passage into the place.
All right. Are the gates closed or are they?
Well, they're closed, but they're obviously not locked. I mean, there is interchange going in and out, but the guards are kind of inspecting people. They kind of know who's local and who's not.
Got it.
So 2 town guards, one male, one female, are standing beyond the gate. They each have a spear. They have a spike. Excuse me, misspeaking. They have pikes, so they could reach you 10 feet away if they wanted to. But they're really just, the kind of pikes that you would see guards like this having, so they could actually, if there was something going on outside, they could get through there. And, so they kind of see you all approaching, and they're kind of eyeing you, but as you begin to approach, they say, "Hello, friends. How can we help you today?" And, Ismark stands forth and says, my friends, we're weary travelers from the village of Barovia. My name is Ismark Koliana. I am the son of the Burgermeister in Barovia, and I've come to visit your fair city. And I think I just gave you the wrong last name on him too, which is always nice when you do that. So of course when I said Ismark Koliana, I meant Ismark Kolyanovich, because, genders matter in this world, evidently. Okay. I'm going to get trolled for that one. Anyway. So, Ismark Kolyanovich, and obviously, I'm friends. I'm friends with Baron Velakovich. He's friends with my dad. They know me here, and so may we come in? And of course, the guards looking at him and his attire, and they also look at you all and, see the disparate nature of your group. But they also notice Irina, and they kind of gaze at her for just a moment in a way that kind of not only makes her feel uncomfortable, but I think all of you begin to feel a little uncomfortable. However, they
kind of uncomfortable.
Make a perception check.
Aw.
11?
Yes.
That seems like someone who doesn't care whatsoever.
So, with the 11, you just kind of have a sense that we're all gonna wave at Todd's granddaughter who just vanished all of a sudden.
Wow.
Yeah, she's vanishing. It's magical.
It's very cool.
Yes, there's a puppy. Oh, hold on.
Disappearing into Guild War.
This
Nice.
This 11 has been brought to you by the granddaughter visit.
Callie's kind of like, was that necessary?
Yeah.
I was sleeping.
I do like her vanishing every so often.
Yeah, it's
it's a neat trick.
I'm going into Guild Wars, Granddad.
Look at that. Oh, where'd you go? There you are.
Yeah.
Here you go.
I got-
We had a little.
I got nothing.
We had a little moment. We're good.
Okay.
That's awesome.
How old is she?
She just turned 3.
Oh.
Tell me how old you are. 3.
3.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Now Merle's going to be annoying.
All right, let's go back and see mommy.
Okay. So with the 11, it's the kind of a gaze that somebody would give as if they're seeing somebody that's striking, or they're seeing somebody that is somewhat familiar, but you're not really sure how to put your finger on it. But there wasn't anything more tangible than that based on 11.
That was a terrible roll, by the way.
I know. That's why you got what you got. So, Ismark, leads you all in, and you enter the gates of Valaki, and I'm going to move you a little bit here on the map, I think, just to kind of show you where you are. Let me see if I can't center it a little bit better. Does that help at all?
I don't
No.
see anything but black. Do I need to?
It's very tiny.
Yeah, you can enlarge it a little bit.
Isn't that your job?
I'm trying.
Well, I don't have.
No, it's the DM's job.
I can control where I put things on in Roll20. I can't control how big you make Roll20.
Oh
in your
wow, that
browser.
is a little tiny smudge. Okay.
Well, part of it. You know what? I'm gonna just turn off the dynamic lighting. I don't think we really need one in the village. I was playing with it earlier today and thought it was going to serve a purpose, but it doesn't. So is that better? Is it lit now?
Yep.
Okay. So you're now
generic village. It's doesn't give a whole lot of info.
Not a lot of info there. Yeah, but as you kind of enter in, you kind of get out of earshot of the guards. Ismark says, friends, and you all kind of gather around. He says, although we are safe here, this is, I would call it sort of a suspicious safe. We don't know who are our friends, and we definitely don't know who are our enemies here. So I believe that we can probably go find Father Lucian at St. Andral's Church. That's probably a good place for Irina to hang out for a while and be safe while we kind of figure out our next move. But I think I know Father Lucian. I've met him before. He's a good man. All the information that we're going to need in this town can probably be gotten at the Blue Water Inn, which is the local tavern. But I suggest, instead of just barging in and asking a bunch of questions, we should probably go seek out Father Lucian and go from there. Does that make sense?
Oh, that makes a lot of sense to me.
What-
We've got our friends behind us too. Do you think we should? Do the guards change often, or can we say, "Hey"?
That's a good question.
Thank you.
Well, let's ask him. Let's just tell him we were expecting a couple folks. Maybe give them a description. Tell them to come find us at St. Andral's Church.
Yeah, there's this weird guy with these fucking ears. No.
Have you looked in the mirror?
Damn it! I have this hat. Damn it! No.
Assignment Earth. Oh wait, sorry, I went somewhere else with that.
Yeah, no. So we've got a tall gentleman, elf, much like myself, and a man with him who's got an amazing sort of guitar axe, probably slung over one shoulder. Yeah, keep an eye out for them. They're friends of ours. I think they'll be good with.
And as these guards just continue to look at you, staring totally at the side of your head, not your face, Ismark reaches into his pocket and hands them a gold piece. And they say, "Yeah, we'll make sure they find you over at the church. Not a problem."
You're a beautiful man, Ismark.
Yeah.
Just sometimes there's different ways to persuade people, and I find that the golden rule sometimes works the best.
I like it.
Yeah. So you begin to make your way through the town, and unlike Barovia, the village of Barovia seemed like a ghost town to you all. I mean, people were it's kind of like those old westerns when people are hiding behind their doors, and the good guy and the bad guy have all come to town, and there's a showdown and people are kind of peering. That's kind of the vibe that you got in Barovia. Vallaki is very different. There is this sense of optimism that kind of surprises you in contrast. You see remnants of banners and celebrations that give you the sense that this is a much more active and vibrant town. And the most recent remnants that you see seem to be thematic with what you encountered outside of the town with those wolves' heads on pikes.
By which you mean, let's stab us some lycanthropes, or
like there's banners that have the wolves on it. Like you might see a circle and a slash through a wolf. You kind of get the sense that these guys are taking names, and they believe the wolves are some of the names that need to be taken.
Got it.
Yeah.
And does Ismark seem to know where he's going? We're following him.
He knows. Like I said, he's been here before. You're kind of making your way through the town. You're going to pass mostly houses that you've seen, that you see there. The construction is very similar to what you saw in the village of Barovia. There's not a lot of, architectural diversity so far. However, there are some, notable landmarks. Specifically, you're going to notice the Blue Water, the Blue Water Inn. You're going to go past it. So as you're walking down, let me just kind of. I'm sorry, I've got like several maps of Vallaki in front of me, one that's in Roll20, one that's just for my reference. And, so as you kind of make your way through the town, let me move it over. So you get here towards the center of town, and then I'll center you on where you are. Whoops, just threw you in the middle of somebody's house. You notice the Blue Water Inn. It's right here. You can't miss it. Just because it's a well-known landmark. And you see gray smoke coming out of the chimney, which tells you it's an active kind of place as you go by. But Ismark is kind of, keeping you when he sees a landmark like that that's well known. He doesn't kind of walk on the side of the road where it would be. He chooses, further away where you'll all might not be discerned. And he's also trying to say, hey, let's not move as a group. Let's maybe kind of go 2 here, 2 there. Try to look a little bit more sporadic, just as you're walking through town. So you've kind of set up a cadence that's designed to show you moving in the same direction. But if somebody were observing you, it might be difficult to assume, unless they've watched you from the way you came in the gate, that y'all are necessarily together. And to effect this, Gunloda is walking with Ismark and Irina, and kind of on either side of her. And they've sort of kept that grouping since the last episode when they were holding hands.
They were all holding hands.
They were all holding hands, yes. So y'all pass the Blue Water Inn, and as you do, you do notice these 2 fellas that walk up to the tavern. They don't really notice you, but you notice them because they're clad in hunting attire. One's got a bow with some quivers over his back. The others are the other one, I'm sorry, is got a few pelts. Like they've clearly been out hunting, but they're also headed towards the bar. And as you see them, you notice that Irina pulls her cloak up a little bit more over her head, and Ismark kind of doesn't really hide his gaze, but it's one of those things where he's moving very nonchalantly past, so that he doesn't seem to want to draw their attention, if that makes any kind of sense. But
Okay.
other than
Do
that,
they look like the guys that we saw back near the Tsur pools earlier in the day? Because we saw a couple hunters then.
no, that's
too.
a fair question. Those guys were clearly Vistani.
Okay.
These guys are dressed very different.
Okay.
They don't have the same markings, and they certainly don't look familiar to you.
Got it.
However, they do look familiar to each other. In other words, they look like they might be related.
Okay.
Sashana is going to take note of how they are moving and follow suit, probably across the street.
Yeah. So y'all are keeping those paces, but you're paying attention.
Yeah. Rain is probably with her.
And, Rain is probably, out of all of you, the one getting the most looks, because these are, particularly from, if these guys were to notice any of you, they would notice Rain, because they were thinking, wonder what he would
Storm.
Wonder what he would look like on my wall.
The most dangerous. Yeah.
Make one
Right.
heck a
And
rug.
of course, Rain has got his little mechanical dog, if you will, Storm.
Sure,
Yeah. Thank you for the reminder of that. I did forget. So
Storm would draw some attention. Yeah.
yeah, I would think so. But again, this is Barovia. People have seen all kind of stuff, One thing I would note, as you pass the Blue Water Inn, you do, whereas before, when this group was at the crossroads where the Bone Grinder is, and you had the intense alarm, if you will, coming from the Raven, you do notice that at the top of the Blue Water Inn, there almost appears to be a nest of ravens. In fact, you see about 9 jet black ravens just sort of hanging out. I don't want to call it the belfry, because it's not a belfry per se, but sort of the rafter up top. You just sort of see them. I mean, if you kind of like if you were at Hogwarts and you went into the owlry and you saw the owls, it's kind of like that, but it appears to be ravens.
Are there any? Do I notice any anywhere else, or just there?
That's really where you notice them. And you know what? Go ahead and give me a perception check, please, Shoshana. 22. Yeah, what you really notice is that they just largely appear to be there, and that a number of them seem to be kind of watching you all. I mean, you're used to the way birds are, but then all of a sudden they do something as if they suggest that they're more sentient than perhaps you gave them credit for. That's sort of what that looks like to you.
I would probably kind of point that out to Rain if he hadn't noticed.
Rain's a cat. He's going like, birds. Yes. No. No.
Well, no, just so I'm not the only one that saw that.
Right.
Rockwell.
That is Rockwell. Yes, it is. Anyway, moving on. So, as you continue down the road, you go past the Blue Water Inn, and you're kind of back in that area that appears to be more residential again. You've kind of, what you've noticed about these towns is that there appears to be like a central area that seems to be like the crossroads, and then everything else kind of meanders out of that. So as you pass the Blue Water Inn, that you sort of get past that, if you will. And as you continue down the road, you do find your way, and you sort of see it in the distance. It's a church, not quite as large as the one you saw in Barovia. It doesn't have the massive cemetery per se, although it does have one. It's just a little bit different layout than what you saw in Barovia. But you do see this church to the Morning Lord. Let me kind of move you down the road here. I'll just kind of put you guys by that. And let's see here. Yep. Pushing too many buttons on my end. Okay. So you arrive at the church, and you're outside the doors. There is a sign. It says St. Andral's Church. The sign is sort of an old weathered sign. It's not like it's been kept up, but it is a centuries old stone building. It's got a bulging steeple in the back. The walls are lined with cracks, and they're stained glass, depicting what you think are pious people. And there is a wrought iron fence that sort of encircles the whole area, including the gravestones that you see.
Do I notice anything? Can I do a perception check and see if there's anything odd or uncomfortable?
Sure.
About it. Is that perception?
Yeah. Or investigation. Perception is more you're kind of glancing. Investigating is like I'm paying attention.
19.
Okay. It looks like an old church. It doesn't look like anything sinister. From what you can tell, it seems to have the same kind of energy as the whole town does.
Are we going to? We're
heading on in there, right?
Yeah. So Ismark says, friends, we need to find Father Lucian. I think we can just go right in. We don't need to knock or anything. It's typically an open door, and I would think this time of day the door is open. But let's see.
Let's go on in.
All right. So, with Ismark leading the way, he opens the door, and there's candles lit on the inside, and he says, "Father Lucian." And with that, you see this startled head pop up from one of the pews, and there's this young young boy who looks at you all coming in the door, and his eyes get really, really wide. And without really saying anything, he begins to run off as if he's not so much like he's running away in terror as much as it is he's running to go get the attention of somebody because you're walking in. While he does this, you notice that the church has got a very, the layout, if you remember the one in Barovia, you kind of had rooms to the left and right, and then the pews and such were ahead. This one's sort of a little bit different, where you're kind of walking in, and there's more like what you would consider like a minor narthex type of vestibule, and then all of a sudden you see the seating area. And you kind of get the sense that any rooms or places that people might stay are further to the back and maybe off to one side or the other. And the young boy was down in one of the pews, and you don't know if was he cleaning something, was he putting something away, was he taking a nap? You don't really know. So Ismark looks around and says, "Good. It's not very. People are not visiting right now, so we can kind of hopefully have a private conversation with Father Lucian, and maybe our friends will catch up with us, and we can figure out what our next move is." And
I'm gonna move off towards one of the sides, looking at the stained glass windows. Are
sure.
On the, yeah, sure.
Oh.
Just go and start looking at those.
Yeah. So as you do that, you kind of hear a lumbering coming down, and there's this large priest coming out, and he's got his vestments on, and he looks much more rested than Father Donovich looked. But you do get a sense of, particularly those of you with high perception, would get a sense of apprehension, perhaps, coming from him, and just in his facial expressions and stuff like that. But he looks and he goes, "Ismark, my friend, I'm so glad you're here. How can I help you?" And of course, this is, and just so y'all know, Ismark says, "Oh, Father Lucian," I'm getting my accents all messed up. I got to stop that. I should stop listening to this in a podcast from somebody else because I want to go into different accents. Okay. Father Lucian, thank you for receiving us unannounced. I have brought my sister with me and these friends from Barovia. We kind of need a place to lay low for a little bit, and I was hoping that you might help me. Friends, this is Father Lucian Petrovich. He's a friend of my family's, and he is the priest here at this Church of the Morning Lord here in Appalachia. And I'm hoping that you will discreetly give us some refuge, if that's okay, and help us understand what's going on here. And of course, Father Lucian says, "Well, of course, I'm more than happy to open my doors to you. As you know, the Morning Lord is a place of refuge, and I'm always here to open that to you. I will let you know that we have many folks that come in the evening and pray for our festivals and pray for our town and pray for what we have going on in our world. And so I cannot guarantee that you will not encounter others, but I can certainly give you a place to stay out of their way. Should that be useful, you are welcome in the arms of St. Andral." And with that, Ismark says, "Oh, thank you so much. And is there a place that we can go and maybe meet privately, and meaning all of you?" He says, sure. Follow me back to the, it's the kitchen. It'd be the best place. And I've asked Yeska to prepare some food and some drinks when you came in. So hopefully there will be some nourishment for us back there as well. So you follow Father Lucian to the
Please.
out of the the main area of the church, and you kind of go down a hallway, and you see like there's bedroom, like rooms. Like one's obviously Father Lucian's quarters, one's perhaps a place where somebody else stays, and then there's just like offices, but there is like a little kitchen kind of area, and there's a table that's not a huge table, but there's plenty of room for everybody to meander around, and there's some bread, and there's some water, or some sort of liquid that the young boy is feverishly pouring into cups around the table. It's clear that he works for Father Lucian, and Father Lucian says, "Yeska, yes, please, for these friends. This is Yeska. He is an orphan who is also protected by the arms of Saint Andral, and he offers his service as sort of a valet, and supports services around the church, etc. So, how can I help you?"
Father Lucian, I thank you for your hospitality. It is a pleasure. This is interesting times, I guess, here in Barovia. I'm new to these parts, and we just had just pardon me, had just a dickens of a time over in Barovia Village, and we've run across some creatures that look like wolves from time to time, and I see a bunch of those images that you had. I mean, the gates seem to be pretty threatening, and then we've got those signs up. So we've had trouble with creatures that look a little bit like that, and I'm wondering, is this something that's plagued y'all for a while? Is this new? I'm just curious about this at the moment.
No, my friend, it's a fair question. You could say that we have had the best of times and we have had the worst of times.
That is the dickens of a time, isn't it? Yes.
Well done.
Couldn't resist.
That's good. Thank you.
Well, I don't know if you would say that these times in Barovia are any different than any other time in Barovia. As far as I can tell, it's always been as this. However, our Burgomeister, Baron Valakovich, is convinced that a positive attitude and festival after festival after festival will keep the wolves at bay, as they say. In fact, he's got this lovely proclamation, which is, "All will be well." Hashtag. No. All will be well. And so the wolves' heads you saw were our most recent festival, where the wolves were the target of the All Will Be Well campaign. The next one is going to be brilliant. It's this, I understand they're building this. It's I'm being disrespectful to our Burgermeister. He is actually doing a festival for the Morning Lord. And he is making this big wicker ball that he intends to ignite and have it represent the sun, which is the symbol of the Morning Lord. And it's going to be wonderful. It's not going to solve anything, but it's going to be wonderful.
I do love a good festival, and
And wicker burns so beautifully. The smell of the dried wicker, it's lovely.
I have been known to light things on fire myself, and it is a wonderful experience, I have to say. So I guess,
as long as you're not in the middle of it when it happens, yes.
Sometimes I am not my my best advocate in these moments. But Father Lucian, this may be a delicate question. Are the wolves, and I hesitate to bring this up, but are the wolves just wolves around here?
And he looks troubled. And he thinks a minute. He doesn't immediately respond to you. And then he says, the ecosystem of Barovia is very diverse. You will find wolves that are wolves. You will find large wolves that are dire wolves. And you will find wolves that are men, that are wolves. And then you will find abominations that can take on the form of wolves and other creatures. By the look of you and your friends, no offenses are intended, y'all are clearly new here. You are not the first ones that we have ever encountered who are new here, so it is not unusual. But it is clear that you are not aware of all the dangers that you will find here in Barovia. So, I am happy to give you as much counsel and advice as I can. I believe that this is a relatively safe place for you. And then he looks at Yeska, the boy, and he says, Yeska, that's enough. You may be excused. And the boy stops what he's doing, and he leaves the room. And Father Lucian steps over and just sort of shuts the door. You hear the creak of the door as it shuts. And Father Lucian looks at Ismark with this troubled look on his face, and he goes, Ismark, are these people to be trusted? And Ismark says, well, as much as I think I can trust anybody, I've trusted them with my life thus far, and they haven't let me down. And they seem to be on board with protecting Irina, so they're okay in my book. So anything you have to say to me, I believe you can say in front of them. And Father Lucian says, very well. I do believe you're safe here in my church. However, I do need to let you know that the bones of Saint Andral have gone missing. And these bones have been in our possession for centuries. By the way, when he says this, Shoshana, there's a tinkling in the back of your brain about the bones of Saint Andral. You're trying to work it out like you're trying to divide 857 by 253 in your head. It's just gnawing at you.
That's 453.
Thank you. I was waiting for that. And so he says, I don't really know if that makes this place more vulnerable or not. But there has been a hallowedness to the possessions of those bones that I fear could be a problem. Now, I tell you all of that in confidence, Ismark. I have not made this broadly known around town. I would ask that you keep this quiet because the people rely on this place as being a place of refuge, and I do not want to erode their confidence or have the Burgermeister think that I am going against his all is well mantra. But as you are here investigating, you might get a beat, if you will, on the location of those bones, and I would like them returned. I will feel much better knowing that they are back where they belong. Now, How else can I help you?
Can I just ask about those bones for just a second there?
Sure.
How long have they been missing, do you figure?
It has been recently that I noticed that they were gone. I have been the rector here for a long time. They've always been here. The only people that really ever deal with them are myself, Jesko, who you've met, and I have another helper from time to time. I call him Mil, his Milovej, but I call him Mil because it's hard enough to say all the names we have to say around here. But a few nights ago, it became apparent that the crypt had been disturbed and that the bones were no longer with us. So, anyway, I am not suspicious of Jeska or of Milov, but at the same time, I have to be realistic. But as you know, by some of the things that I've already told you about that go on in Barovia, there could be many entities, notice I use that word, that could be aware of the bones. So, we have never really experienced the assault that my brother in Barovia has experienced, Father Donovich. But we're beyond the gates of Barovia, and maybe the person who lives in the Raven Loft has not taken our notice. I would like to keep it that way, as he gazes back over at Irina, and then back at the rest of you. But anything else about the bones I can answer for you, young man?
Well, now you had said that crypt had been disturbed. I mean, I see all the wolves around here, and again, we've run into more than a few. Did you see claw marks or anything that gave you any indication at all about what might have come after them?
Well, as you can imagine, the answer to your question directly is no. I did not see any claw marks. This is a stone edifice. It's been built to last centuries, and so
these wolves I've met are, thank you.
Well, I don't know if it was the wolves per se, but
Is that so? Y'all are beset by wolves, and then, I mean, where would what? See now, I would like to keep this place safe. We've been spending a couple days here with Irina and Ismark, and they are good people, and we agreed with Ismark to help keep Irina safe. She's an important person to us. And then, do you think finding these bones would help with that, keeping her safe?
I think that the bones would do very well to keep us all safer. Yes.
All right.
As to whether they would be uniquely helpful for this young lady, I have no evidence to suggest that they would or that they would not. And he looks at Irina and he says, "Forgive me. I've known your brother and your father for quite some time, but we've never really formally met. I've only heard wonderful things about you, and you are obviously welcome here." And of course, Irina, who had pulled her cloak down when y'all came into safety, blushes a little bit and acknowledges the father. And she goes, thank you for your refuge and thank you for your concern. I'm confident that we will make our way regardless of what happens. I feel emboldened with this group, and hopefully that will not be necessary, but if it is, I'm ready for it. And he kind of laughs and says, young people. Anyway. So, anything else you would like to ask Father Lucian?
Okay. Does Sashana want to get in on this? Because she's paladin of this.
I have a question, but I'm trying to put it into perspective.
Are you putting it in Discord or something?
No.
Oh.
I was just looking for a note.
Oh, okay.
Was she looks at the father and she asks, was St. Andral one of the dragons?
No, you're thinking of Argon Vostholt. They don't really sound the same, but they both begin with A.
No. Was he one of the silver dragons?
No. Saint Andral was a saint of the Morning Lord. The dragons are legend. And they say that west of town, in that old mansion, some say it's a haunted mansion, is where the dragon stories come from. Years ago.
Here in town?
No. West of the town. Argon Vostholt, to the west. Everything from here is to the west, except for Barovia, which is to the east. We have a mountain up north. There's a lake. They even say that there is a mad mage up that way, although he hasn't been seen for a while. There's all kinds of stories around here. The question is, which ones do you believe, and which ones matter?
Do you believe the stories of the silver dragons?
I serve a God that gives me hope and belief in miracles. And I believe that all things are possible. So I do not close my mind off to superstition or to stories, because I don't know how fundamentally the Morning Lord is going to deliver us from the world in which we are in today.
There is much to be delivered from here.
Hopefully you are a part of that deliverance. And he looks at you with that, your paladin-esque, and says that directly to you as Callie defends you as, I guess, Chris's home.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't move like that.
He had to be announced.
She doesn't move like that for anybody. But all right. So
that sounds like somebody's jealous.
Could be. So what's going to happen is we're going to take a break because Chris is home and give him a chance to get it settled. Plus, we've been going at this for about an hour and a half. While we take a break, when we come back, we will bring Jack and Quill into the party. This is plenty of time for them to have caught up and gotten to the gates and all that good stuff. So we'll bring the party back together, and we will do that when we come back from the break. So we'll be back in a few minutes.
So I just wanted to say that I loved doing the Vistani accent and then saying, "Y'all will come with me."
So, with that, we are back. And when we last left, y'all were in the kitchen with Father Lucian having a conversation about the goings-on in Vallaki. As this conversation is ending, you hear a knock on the door, and Father Lucian says yes, and of course the door opens, and it's Yeska, the boy, and he leads in a wood elf with a bow and a human that has this really guitar-looking axe over his back. And so Quill and Jack have caught up to party.
Yay.
Yay.
What's going on, guys?
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
So
Hey!
we will
Hey,
say
Mark.
that through the magic of RP, y'all kind of quickly bring everybody up to speed, and everybody's up on the same page. Father Lucian has sort of been coming and going while y'all been catching people up. While the whole time, Gunloda is there. She's been participating, but she also keeps just looking at doe eyes with Ismark. Okay.
Yeah.
So, any other questions for Father Lucian before you guys decide where you want to go and what you want to do?
I'm going to ask the party, how was your trip? I don't know what they've been told by Father Lucian at this point.
Well, they just caught you up. They just caught
We're
you
just
up.
gonna-
Okay,
yeah,
so we
we're
can
gonna-
assume that I now know everything that I heard.
You now know everything.
Okay.
Exactly.
Good.
I figured we didn't need to take a lot of time recapping what we just did for the last hour.
Good.
So, if y'all want to RP that, y'all can. I'm fine with that. I'm going to leave for a little bit. I'll come back. Okay. So, just to sort of recap, though, he's talked to you a little bit about what the Burgermeister's doing in the town. He mentioned something about the Mad Mage to the north, the Haunted Mansion to the west. Anything else?
Haunted Mansion to the west.
Well, you talked about the dragons.
Ah, okay.
Remember?
I
And I
don't
said
wanna do
Argon
that.
Boss Hold.
Yep. I forgot that there was a haunted mansion involved.
Well, I said mansion that some say is haunted, and I didn't really put those words together in that order.
Okay.
So,
And we've got the Mad Mage somewhere to the north of us,
right.
near the lake and the mountain. Okay.
Well, all of that sounds horrible to Jack,
Good.
and he's not interested in any of that.
Okay. So at this point, is Father Lucian around, or do we have a moment alone, just the party here?
He has been in and out. You can tell me. I can tell you he's out if you want to just have a discussion with the party.
Okay.
You might.
And I'm
wanna-
not going to necessarily RP the party talk, but
That's fine.
But y'all, I was thinking the Nest of Ravens thing on top of the Blue Water Inn, and thinking the Rogue card. Remember we had that, and the reading was, "I see a nest of ravens. There you will find the prize." I mean, I'm thinking maybe the Blue Water Inn might be a good place to go, but I'm happy to. I mean, Sashana had talked about the dragons, and I'd like to hear more about that potentially. But I don't know. What do y'all think?
Jack will second the inn idea and
I thought
say,
he might.
hell no to dragons.
Who do we want to?
Or ghosts.
So
I'm contemplating whether I want to have that conversation in public or not about the dragons.
Well, right now it's just us, right? So we can establish that it's just the party.
Ismark says to you all, friends, I'm going to take Irina and we're going to go find Father Lucian. I want to get her settled so that if we can park her here for a little bit, that might be in everyone's best interest. And plus, I want her to feel comfortable with what we're doing. So let me excuse
I would-
myself.
Before you leave, I
Oh,
would
sure.
are either of you familiar with the Silver Dragons? With the Order of the Silver Dragons?
So a couple things happen when you ask that question. Ismark says, "Well, I mean, it's a legend. You know, we were told about it as kids, sort of like the Silver Dragons, the Order of the Silver Dragons, and the dragon who lived in the West. But that's all I really know about it. But Arena has this look on her face, almost like somebody trying to recall a thought that you can't articulate. There's something about the way you asked the question. It triggered something with her.
And I see that.
You would notice that. Quill would notice that. I'm not so sure everyone else would notice it, but the two of you would definitely.
I'm very carefully watching both of them.
Yeah.
Me neither.
Yeah. But it's almost like you're sparking some recognition in her, but she can't quite get it out, which is actually, a feeling or a sense that you, Shoshana, are very aware of because it happens to you all the time.
Okay. Enjoy your relaxation. We're gonna head down.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be relaxing, but it's going to be in order. I'll be right back. We won't be gone long. And
I recommend the hot stone treatment.
Foreigners. Okay. They leave briefly. So the core of you now have some modicum of privacy. Should you want it. You didn't ask for it, but it just gives me a break from having to RP and stuff. So go.
Yeah, what are we doing?
I'm thinking for a second. So we're still in the room that had the food and everything.
Yeah, you're in the kitchen. The commissary, whatever.
I'm going to sit down and kind of wave people over. I've mentioned a couple times the Order of the Silver Dragon. Do you all know this story?
Not familiar to me.
I don't know anything about dragons.
Silver dragons are almost godly beings. I am a paladin of the Order of the Silver Dragon. Found my notes.
Wait, so are they dragons or are they people?
We were people, but we followed the Silver Dragon. Argonost was the Silver Dragon who came here long ago, and he had a castle, and all was well here, long ago. Strahd came and brought this evil upon the land. The Order of the Silver Dragon, for the most part, died in that last battle. We fought them many times. I am here to fight them again.
All right. Are
That's
there any
real.
other? Are there any other members of the Knights Order of the Silver Dragons lurking about?
There is family of the Order around. I believe I am the last of them.
So make an intelligence check, Shoshana.
Okay. 17.
Because of the unique relationship that you have with your host and with this place, you would know that there is an opportunity to channel some of the the Order of the Silver Dragons. You may not recall exactly how, but your sense is at some point you're probably going to want to check out that house that he mentioned.
Is it that's outside of town, right?
It's outside of town. You don't feel like it's imminent, but you just sort of explain when they say, is there anybody else around? You can say, well, I think we might find some allies or some help there. Something along those lines. It's sort of with that kind of role and, your unique character, that's something that you would know.
My friends, I think we will want to visit that house before we decide to take on Strahd.
All right.
Shall we adjourn to the tavern?
It's been a long and dusty day. I think repairing to the tavern sounds like a damn fine idea.
Yes.
Okay.
Night is generally my time for walking, but I agree. I believe that a nice beverage and some rest would do us all some good.
So, y'all have been given refuge at St. Andral's, which you can stay there, although the accommodations are somewhat Spartan. That is obviously where Irina and Ismark feel the safest. Ismark says to you all before a final decision is made, he says, there are a lot of people in this town that know who I am. So I think it might be useful if I stayed here with Irina, Father Lucian, and let you guys scope out the Blue Water Inn. You're strangers. They'll recognize you as strangers. They will not necessarily associate you with me. I assume that's true. But Strahd has many spies. And so there may be some people in there who are very aware of who you are and who you're traveling with. So I would play the cards as they're dealt to you. But I think you might be able to find out a little more, and then we can regroup about, where we would want to go. And in the meantime, y'all are up the street from me, but if I need your help, I'm going to find a way to send you a message either through the boy or something. I don't know. We don't have a means of communicating distances like that, unless one of you magic users has got something that I'm unaware of.
And we can take care of that. And with that, I am going to. A second. Got too many people open. Just a second. I have too many things open.
Are you doing Gunloda or are you doing Shoshana?
Shoshana.
Okay, sorry. I was confused on that. That's a Joe problem.
So I'm looking for the notes on it, but I'm going to create a link between Ismark and myself.
Okay.
So we can communicate.
And it's bi-directional? And
Yeah.
is there a distance limitation?
I'm looking at that now.
Okay. Is it a spell?
It's a feature.
Oh, okay. It's a feature. Okay.
Not a bug.
Well played, sir. Well played.
Thank you.
Never mind. That's not going to work. It's only 30 feet.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Good
Well,
relief.
light the North Tower.
One if by land, two if by land. Okay. So I think as long as y'all are back before nightfall, we'll be fine. Things that tend to get crazy around here, at least in the Barovia that I know, after dark. And so remember, y'all had arrived at Valaki. I think we said it was around 1 o'clock in the afternoon or so.
Yep.
By the time you kind of got to the church and had the conversation, you're probably about 3:30 or so, I would say. I'm not really keeping a solid beat on time, but that sounds reasonable to me. So you've got a little bit of daylight left, but I don't suspect it's something you're going to be immediately back for. And plus, you're in a town that is surrounded by a pretty significant palisade, and you've got guards at the door. So if there is a threat, it's probably within the palisades already.
Or flying over the top of them.
Or flying over the top, saying
And we
surrender.
Positive town.
Surrender Dorothy, yeah.
I'm sorry, Shoshana, what did you say?
We're also in kind of a positive town.
Yeah, you're in a, yes, exactly.
There are friends here.
Yes, you do get that sense. Okay, so Irina and Ismark are going to stay behind, so the DM doesn't have to be that creative. And I mean, because that's what they would do. And
Sure.
you all head up
Absolutely.
you all head up the road to the Blue Water Inn, which you would know as the Valaki's main gathering place for locals, especially at night, which you're going to try to be out of there by that. You make your way up the road. The same gray smoke is issuing from the chimney. It is a 2-story wooden building with a stone foundation and a sagging tile roof, upon which those ravens that I mentioned before. Although before you saw 9, there seems to be a little more. Maybe 6 more. So you got about
Hitchcockian number of ravens.
Sure.
Not quite.
Sure. There is no, and there's this booth of no. Tippy Hedron, right? Yes, sir.
Yep,
I see
yep,
a hand raised by a cat.
Sorry, random question.
Sure.
For the DM, just because I was,
Underwater.
yeah, absent. More on that later. But is this town similar to the last town in that the windows look weird?
No, actually, this town's got a completely different vibe. The architecture is still the same. There is a sense of optimism in this town that you did not get out of Barovia. You're not so sure if it's an actual smile or a painted smile, but it is a smile nonetheless. Okay. But the vibe, there's a bit more bustling in the street. It's not that dark and forebodingness. Yeah. There's a lot more.
Feel.
Yeah, there's a different energy. It's a different vibe altogether.
Okay.
Yeah.
A smile, and everyone is following.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
No,
Cool.
no,
I wasn't sure what the vibe of the whole, because I remember the last, it was the town of Barovia.
Right, the village of Barovia, yep.
See into the windows. It was like they were reflecting back at you.
Correct. Now, y'all haven't really investigated any of the houses here, but for all intents and purposes, the vibe is different.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So, you arrive at the Blue Water Inn. Let me do this for the DM because you can. It's not what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. Open in a new window and move it over here just so I can see a better view of the tavern. Okay. So you walk in the tavern. Where am I trying to go? Okay. So talking about the several ravens or perch, then you asked me the question, got me off track. That's me, not you. A painted wooden sign hanging above the main entrance depicts a blue waterfall. And then you enter in to the area, and it's a tavern. There's a bar in the back of this room. There's tables to both your left and your right. There are people gathered around. You can tell that there's signage that kind of gives you a sense of sort of the fees for this kind of place that includes, there's a a cost for the night. There's a cost for food. There's, cost for the mash, which they have two different types of pints. They have a purple grape mash number 3, which is a wine. And then they have a pint of what is known as the Red Dragon Crush. The grape mash number 3, you can see says 3 copper pieces on the little chalkboard that they have. And then the Red Dragon Crush is for 1 silver piece. So you kind of get a sense there might be a quality difference between the two.
Is going to take a pint of the more expensive one.
So you're going to go to the bar and order.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. So I was
Is going to rush up to the bar and ask the bartender what their house specialty is.
Gunload is doing this?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm right behind her, so.
So this human is standing behind the bar, and he looks down at Gunloda and her enthusiasm because she's staring at the taps behind him, and she's probably even telling him a little bit about her experiences as well. And then he sees the cat, and he's kind of he's taken aback by Rain, but not in a way that you're used to. I mean, you're used to people seeing you and going, huh. But he almost looks at you like at first he looks at you at first like you might be a threat, and then he relaxes. It's like he gets his wits about him, and he maybe have thought you were like a shape changer of some sort. I don't know. But you can kind of see that he relaxes, and he says, sure. You want the Red Dragon Crush? Is that what you said?
Is that your house specialty there?
Oh, that's our prime wine.
Oh, well, bring us a couple of flagons of that, if you will, good sir.
Okay, just a couple. There. I thought I saw you walk in with a few folks.
Well, yeah, I'll offer that in a
picture.
Well, it's a silver piece. It's a silver piece per pint. How many pints would you like?
Well, bring us around for the crew here.
Are we talking pints of wine?
That's trouble.
Yeah, I was about to say that's a lot.
I am reading here a pint of wine. Y'all could split it if you don't want to have it all to yourself.
It's wine.
It's been a long day. Bring me a pint of wine.
I'd like a spritzer, please.
I guess it would be something similar to a mead.
Yeah, it's very much like
okay.
that.
But you don't drink mead at pints either.
Right.
You don't.
Says you can't have a flagon of mead. It's been a long day.
Don't talk about my drinking habits, Joe. Jesus.
Wow.
You don't.
Wow.
You're
With that
wild
said,
animal drinking
a pint of
mead from a
whiskey.
pint.
Wait, what?
yeah.
Yeah, see, like that's. I mean, mead's not on the same ABV level as whiskey, but still.
You still don't want to drink a
I wouldn't drink a pint of that.
All right. To be fair, I didn't write the story. I'm reading it as it's written here.
I can still mock you for it.
You know,
well, hang on.
You can't stop me from mocking you.
I'm not making you guys use this EP currency that nobody uses in D&D.
Oh, can we? Oh yeah, I do want Electrum.
I want to call it Ethereum just because. Anyway. So he goes, I think you'll like it. My family brews this personally. And with that gun load, it's like, oh my gosh, tell me more.
Oh yeah.
But he says, y'all get you a table over there, and I'll send my wife over with all the pints for you. Make them last. He looks at you, Jack. Make them last.
As I just chug it.
So there's a couple options. There are 2 tables that are round that hold about 6 people, and then there's 2 long tables that hold 6 to 8 people, and then there's just sporadic other tables around. Do you want one of the ones in the middle? There's one over kind of in the corner over by the window, and then there's one on the opposite side that is closer to where the stairs come down from the tavern. Where would you like to corral?
What sort of gives you a good view of the room?
Either of the round tables in the middle. Plus,
Well,
you'd kind of.
I don't like middle. Middle is not a good answer.
No?
Yeah, middle's a
I'm
good
black
ambush
aces
spot.
And 8s. I don't want to be. I don't want to be in the middle of the room.
So
I
no.
want my back to a wall somewhere.
So, all right, well,
Yeah.
then that would be, so you have 2 options for that. You notice Quill, no, you wouldn't notice Quill because you weren't there. Shoshana would notice that the 2 hunters that you saw, as y'all walked past, they're still sitting in the bar. They're sitting at a table over on the far side of the bar, up against the wall, kind of at the bottom of the stairs against the outside wall. They're sitting there, and they have their pints in front of them. They don't look like they went for the higher dollar
Now,
wine.
is this the hunters that we ran into outside?
The ones that you saw going in,
Right.
That, yeah. Also,
This is like real life. We can't figure out what table we're going to sit at.
well, one other thing is in one of the other tables in the far corner. So on the opposite side. So I guess so this is a room. It's about 20 by 40. Okay. And it's 20 between the door and the bar where you just ordered. And then it's 40 long ways. Let me see if I can't. I might actually have not easy to do with this. There are, if the first 10 feet are at the bottom and the last 10 feet of the 40 are at the top. In the first 10 feet, there is a table that has 6 chairs, and then it's against the wall. Next to it, sort of right as you come in the door, is a table that holds 2. Sitting at that table is a half-elf bard sitting there with some mead in front of him, but he doesn't appear to be drinking, and he just seems to be watching everybody.
How do we know he's a bard? What instrument does he have?
A piccolo.
Okay. I'm gonna go sit next to him.
Man,
Jethro
the jokes
Tull.
write themselves, don't they?
Yeah.
I'm gonna
So
sit next to him.
So then you have the 2 round tables. Then there's 2 standalone tables kind of perpendicular to, maybe they're parallel, I guess, to the round tables. And then there's another long table that is perpendicular to the round tables. And one of those 2 tables that are parallel to the round tables, on the furthest one from the gentleman sitting there, the half-elf person that you think might be a bard, just because of his flamboyant dress and his piccolo flute sticking out of his pocket.
How dare you just
And his
assume all of us
lamentable piccolo.
bards dress flamboyantly?
You want to
In
tell
my-
us?
Is that
You want to tell us how you're?
In my
Happy to see you.
leather pants,
Yeah.
open leather vest with no shirt, and leopard print headband.
Exactly.
Mhm.
That's rude of you.
I know.
Well, I see his
Alright.
piccolo, and I want to go sit next to him.
Who is at the other table?
Well, he's at a table for 2 with 2 people already there, correct?
So no. So he's at a table for 2 by himself in the
Okay.
corner watching everybody.
All
The
right,
other
let's send Jack to go talk to the bard then.
But there was somebody else that you were in the midst of describing.
So the 2 guys that you saw walk in that were clearly hunters, they are on the upper end of the bar on the right at a table for 2 with some mead, kind of talking amongst themselves, and you can tell they've been there a while and they've had a lot of mead. They're very pleasant. They're not loud and rambunctious. They're not a problem, but they've been there for a while. The guy in the corner that I mentioned is just kind of watching everybody, including y'all. I mean, he's just like people watching, you know. He's that guy at the Starbucks that's just sitting at the back, just kind of watching people come and go. There are the round tables in the middle are available. And the table to the south or closest to where the guy is by himself is available. And that's the one that is probably the one that's going to give you the ability to have your back to the wall and give you some measure of cover. The other, of the two round tables, I'm sorry, one of the round tables is taken up as well as the far table. So your choice is a round table or that table down by the guy that I mentioned. There are some people sporadically sitting at the bar. And there you go.
I think the table down by the guy that you mentioned is the table that we're going to.
Okay, so there's
I want to.
so y'all kind of circle around there, and you're sitting in the bar. And as you do that, a woman, female, human rather, woman and female are probably redundant.
I was gonna say.
Thank you. You know, this is professional D&D, folks. Do not try this at home. Actually, do try this at home. It's a great game. Please, I insist. She brings you the mead or the wine, and she starts presenting it to you all. And she says, "My husband told me that y'all wanted the fine wine. This is our family vintage. I hope you enjoy it. It's hard to come by, but it's good." And she serves you. Is there anything else I can get you folks while you get settled?
I'll take a menu.
Okay. We have bread and we have some soup.
Okay.
Can you put the soup in a bread bowl?
She
This is where we get
she
the
looks
yelling
she
around
looks at Jack with his pants, his vest, and his headband. And
I feel like I'm being judged right now, and I don't appreciate it.
and she says, Are you here for the festival? Are you part of the show?"
There's a festival? Jack got really excited about that one.
Yeah, the Blazing Sun Festival.
They
Yes.
missed part of that.
Yes, I am.
That's an interesting choice.
Why?
Just being polite, sir.
How?
It's a festival for a god.
Okay. Jack doesn't care.
Oh, Jack
It's a
was
festival.
y'all would have brought Jack up to speed on what the plans were.
Yeah, but Jack barely.
Yeah, I know.
Can I perform at it?
Not my job to tell you can or can't. I would talk to the Burgermeister if you dare. I mean, would like.
I thought we were already going to see him anyway at some point, right? Didn't we just get from back for him?
No, that was Father Lucian.
They all have the same accent.
Now who's
we
now,
haven't met this burger.
now
Yeah,
who's
this is a-
judgy?
And this one's still alive, I think. So
Yeah.
Oh,
And we haven't burned down his house, so that's good too.
we haven't. Yeah.
Give us
it's like a whole
time.
new start.
Give us time.
It's a new day.
All right.
I hope y'all have appreciated the name of the episodes: "The Road to Nowhere," "Burning
Oh
Down
yeah,
the
that was
House."
been good. Yeah.
No,
Actually,
well,
I like
I
the
want some
talking
bread.
heads. Yeah. it was
I'm
good.
gonna throw a copper coin on her tray and say, "Can you bring us some bread, please? That'd be great." Maybe soak up some of that. Wine I'm getting ready to drink.
Sure. And she heads
I'll
off.
order another glass of wine and then go to the barn because I'm going to go hang out with him.
Okay.
Katana is going to have taken a spot where she can see the room and very carefully watching the guy who's watching the room,
Okay.
but not being creepy about it, but trying to
Because
gauge
that's
what's
how
going on.
you roll.
I am creepy, so
That is true.
I wasn't gonna say.
All right. So you just trying to look up a few things here. You go ahead.
So just people of interest. We've got the 2 hunters.
Yep.
We've got the bard.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the people watcher.
Right.
Were there others that sort of stuck out to us, or that's kind of our list of,
Well, I mean, the other folks are just sort of there. They're just for color, background noise. Sometimes you walk into these taverns and there's like all these people that you're called out that are very specific. In this instance, it's really more about just sort of saying, okay, there is some structure and some liveliness to this place, just because it is a very So
I know that she has already walked away. When she brings the bread back, I'm going to look and see if our observant friend is where his beverage level is.
Well, these are not like glasses; they're more like metal.
They're pewter.
Pewter,
I'm
yeah.
guessing,
Yeah, so you're not going to necessarily have a feel for.
Well, you could probably judge by.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he's
good.
nursing. He's nursing it.
And Jack's double fisting.
Jack's double fisted, and so Jack, you head over to the table where the colorful man in the corner is sitting.
Yes.
I'm gonna order a second beverage
Okay,
when she comes back.
sure. And she takes the order and says, "That'll be a silver piece, please."
I'll give her 2 silver pieces.
Okay, thank you. I'll put that on account so that your next one won't. We'll call it prepay.
Okay.
So Jack, you head over to the table where the other guy is sitting, and do you just sit down on your own, or do you ask to be seated?
No, I'm just gonna sit down
Just gonna
because
sit
I'm that
down.
kind of person.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, "Hey, friend, you here for the festival?"
And he kind of he has his drink in his hand, and he's just kind of puts it down on the table, and he eyes you for a minute. He says, "Well, I've been in town for a few festivals. I'm not necessarily here for." Bless you, my friend.
This big, like, long-haired, heavy rock dude just.
Yeah. Anyway, says I've been here for many festivals. I'm not necessarily here for the festival. But obviously I'll be here. Are you here for the festival? You kind of look like a festive kind of person.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I want to perform in it.
Are you a fellow circus person?
Circus? No, I'm a performer. Damn it! How dare you call me part of the circus?
Oh boy.
So tomato, my friend. Tomato.
Wait, no! Those are 2 totally different things. I'm a performer. I'm a rock star. I'm getting upset.
Yeah. And he's looking at you with not disdain or anything. It's just more like, oh, sad. One of those.
No pity.
One of those? What do you mean by that?
Forgive me, friend. I am a carnival ringmaster, and I work with many performers, as you say. And they do very well as a part of my circus. I didn't mean offense. Okay. I just saw the headband and the outfit, and you remind me of somebody. Right? You remind me of somebody that I worked with long ago in a land far away that wore a very similar outfit. Only he had this this sword, and he could swallow that thing, and it would go all the way down his gullet, and then he would pull it right back out. Amazing amazing performer.
Yeah. Nah, I'm a rock star, and I'm gonna pull out Gwendolyn and just be like, and just strum a few.
And
chords.
so you play a G, a C, and a D, because those are the main three chords you have to know. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
I saw that video.
No controversial fourth chords.
Nope.
Yeah. Ironically, none of them are the E flat minor seventh.
Yeah.
Okay. And he says, "Well, that's something."
Wow.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you needed while I'm sitting here enjoying my solitude?
Yeah. Tell me about these festivals. What happens at them?
Well,
You've been to a few.
I'm an out of towner myself. I mean, I'm really not from these parts.
No, I got that part.
I mean, there've just been different festivals, all kind of the all is well, be good, whatever vibe that this place seems to have. That's all I can really tell you. They happen every week. You can't be here long without one. It's almost like being at a place where every day at the same time there's like a parade, and it's the same thing. Sometimes there's a prince.
In other places too,
sometimes there's a princess on the float. Sometimes there's a mouse on the float. Now we're really going to get sued.
That's a different parade.
So, I mean, I you know what? I applaud these people. They're trying to keep their spirits up. Could be worse. They could be making tributes from all their places and making people fight each other to the death. They're not doing that.
Are all the other towns that you've been to similar to this one?
Outside of Barovia? No, they're very different.
Okay.
Outside. He said outside of Barovia.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't think there's anything else I can ask at the top of my head that I'm thinking of, unless somebody else has something they think I should be asking.
Well,
you're over the other side of the room. So.
I'm always looking. I'm always looking for new acts. So, you let me know.
Yeah,
we'll figure something out. This is very interesting. I'd love to see your performance and see what see if it makes difference. You know, we can maybe figure something out.
Yeah, Jack's a performer.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Do you perform? You're a ringmaster.
I'm a ringmaster.
So you just lead.
I never really tell people that I have any musical ability. My ability...
Just by having a piccolo on you.
Oh, well, this, and he pulls it out, and a closer look.
Whoa, not in the part. No.
There are children. Wait, are there children here? There shouldn't be.
There are two children actually.
Whoa.
Two children approach that have delivered the food, the bread, and the stuff that you've ordered. They appear to be the children of the woman.
Child labor laws.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But with that, he pulls out his piccolo and he says, "Oh, this thing," and you look at it, and it's a pewter piccolo, and what you notice is that there is just because you're across from him and he's showing it to you, so there's not a lot of discovery you would need to do here. There is an etching of a monkey in his piccolo. That's kind of part of the design. It's very ornate, very meticulous.
Do I recognize that etching?
I mean, would Jack recognize what a monkey is?
Yeah, but I don't know if it's a certain monkey symbol.
No. He would say, but he would tell you that, oh, this is, I have a pet monkey named Piccolo, and this is Piccolo's Piccolo, and so it's a
That's
horrible.
Thing. And I hate everything about that.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. I'm you know.
Oh no, that's Shane speaking outside of. But I will say.
Well, Joe says
Gwendolyn.
Oh.
Gwendolyn's the love of my life.
I believe you. I have no doubt.
Yeah. And that's it.
So I'm
I
guessing
don't
you.
know what you expect more from Jack.
I'm guessing you came in with those folks over there, and he points at the table, like right, literally. I mean, you guys can probably hear him say this because y'all are at the table next to him.
I did. They're my buddies.
Are y'all part of the festival, or are y'all here for some other purpose?
Festival.
Okay. Well, that sounds nice. I hope y'all enjoy.
Thanks. We'll see you there.
Sure.
And then I'm gonna join the party again.
Somehow I don't feel like we got a lot of information out on the.
Yeah, but we're gonna see him at the festival.
Right.
So I'm watching the guy that's watching the room. Have I noticed anything that I should be aware of, or anything that would catch my eye?
Talking to?
He was talking to Bard.
Oh.
Is that who you're talking about? You're observing him?
I'm observing the guy that's observing the room.
That's him. That's the guy.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Okay.
I thought there was somebody else.
Nope. That is the guy. He's continuing to watch the room. He's watching everybody though. He's not just watching y'all.
Right.
He's watching the two hunters. He's watching the people that are sitting at the table. He's watching the people. He's even watching the bartender and the maid and all those folks. He's just observing. So what else would you like to do?
Yes.
So, I mean, I'd like to talk to the hunters, but I can't figure out an angle for how to do that.
You could nudge Gunloda and she could, because she would do it in a heartbeat.
That's true. Well, I'm also thinking about.
Sit there and keep watching everybody.
Well, I'm also thinking about Quill, because he's the wood elf ranger type.
Mm-hmm.
But and so the people watching guy isn't doing anything. He just keeps watching people.
He's watching everybody. He's
Okay.
he's the guy.
Yes.
He's the guy. All right. Well, what about the hunters? I mean, I can go. You know what? I can go talk to the hunters. Say howdy.
Sure.
Ask them if kind of like the whole fishing thing. How was your luck?
Okay.
Kind of deal. I'm interested in doing some hunting myself.
So you head over to the table and
Yeah.
say, "Hey, fellas, how's the hunting going?"
Yeah, something like that. All they got here is bread and soup, and I need a little meat. So, I was wondering what kind of game there is in these areas.
So, hold on, I gotta make sure I get the names right. One of them, says, he's got this slur to his voice. He says, I think you might be mistaking me for somebody else. I'm not a hunter. I just like this outfit.
Well, it's a very nice one.
Well,
I like it too.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Can I buy you another beverage?
Oh, sure.
That something you wanna
Yep. That and my brother too, or just me?
Yeah. I'll give both of y'all the beverage. So
Have
when,
an extra one, just send that one over.
Well, we've been drinking the number 3. Is that what y'all are drinking?
no, man, I'm gonna step you up. Let's get
Whew.
to the good stuff.
Okay. Whew. Okay.
Because
really
is
don't
number
think you
2
should
the
give
good
him more
stuff?
water.
I don't know.
I don't remember honestly which one was which, but
Was
I
it-
think number 3 was the cheap one.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
Yep. So y'all brothers, you live around here? You traveling or what you doing?
We live around here. Our with our mama.
Oh, you've been here your whole life.
Aw,
Yeah. My mama, our mama.
they live with their mama.
She's a big wig in this town.
Oh yeah, what
Puffs his
does she
chest
do?
out. She's my mama. Oh,
This guy's cute. I love him. Oh, a mom's boy.
said tell us about you guys. Y'all look good. Where are you from?
Oh, we're from all over the place. We just kind of came together. We're on a mission from God.
Oh, wow! And it's almost nighttime out there. I hope you guys have got enough fuel to get you to where you want to go.
Yeah, we'll probably hang out here tonight. But you said your mama was a bigwig. What does she do in this town?
She's rich.
Oh, okay. That's not a bad thing to do.
So, yep.
Well, I sure appreciate the good conversation. I'll see you later.
You bet, and thank you for this. And he holds
My-
up his,
my pleasure.
his sloshes around and such.
Even Jack knows that wasn't a good idea.
And now, ironically, as you're kind of finishing up this conversation, 2 other gentlemen enter the bar. And they are also dressed in hunter's attire. And they are actually bringing in quarry. And you see they have some wolves' pelts, well, carcasses really, over their shoulders. Like these are fresh kills. And they kind of walk in with a level of bombacity. Mr. Bombastic. Oh, that's Shaggy. Never mind. They walk in with some bombacity, and they say, "Erwin, we got you some fresh meat for your patrons." And Erwin says, "Yep, just take it on in the back." And so these guys trudge on through with their kill, and they take it back to where you think is some sort of prep area, because one of the things you also noticed on the menu was wolf steak.
Oh, wolf steak.
Yeah.
I
So
bet that is tasty.
I was about to say, I bet our cat would like that.
Yeah.
Eat the enemy.
It's a little
Yeah,
bit.
Rain, you want to try wolf steak? Take one for the team. See what that's
I
like.
mean, fellas, I don't know. That sounds a little gamey to me.
You might have to soak that
it's
in some
gourmet.
brine for a while. Yeah.
It's gourmet.
Yeah. This sure is an interesting place. Have y'all gleaned any sort of insight into what's going on around this place?
There's a festival.
Well,
That's
we
about
knew
it.
there was a festival, but
Yeah, the people we've
There's going to be a
talked to
circus at the festival.
I
the
mean,
people we've talked to have been widely unhelpful.
this place sure is weird.
Yeah.
So Quill and Shoshana notice that the bartender is periodically glancing over in your direction. You're unclear if it's just he's trying to be a good patron and make sure that if you need your iced tea refilled that it's happening, or if it's
Ew.
something more.
Sorry, I don't like iced tea.
Okay, you can't be on a channel called Geek and Southern and say something.
We've
like that.
already-
Of all the offensive
You-
things that we've
Okay,
probably
first
said
off,
on this channel,
Hold on now.
that
hold
is
on now.
probably the most offensive.
Hold on now. You have known that I'm a northerner and not a southerner, and you invited
we didn't
me.
know you were a savage.
That's
And
true.
you invited me to this channel, knowing full well that I was a northerner and that I was probably going to play the only northerner character, trying to understand you and your southern wiles and ways. But I will tell you, I do not like me some tea, sweet tea.
Sweet tea? I was
Iced
going to
tea.
say.
At least being from
either iced or sweet tea.
At least being
I
from
prefer-
Michigan, you could play Jack like he was Kid Rock. Come on.
So
We don't like Kid Rock. I don't like Kid Rock. I'm more an
y'all,
Eminem person. You're gonna like Michigan.
I've been kind of looking at this here bartender, and he's got my ears perked up, if you know what I mean.
Because you're a cat.
Well, similar to that. Absolutely, absolutely. So, well, I reckon I'm gonna sashay myself over here to the bar and see if I can chat up the bartender a little bit, see what might be going on around here. So I'm gonna make my way over to the bartender.
Okay.
And I'm gonna order another mead
Sure.
from him.
The Red Dragon's Crush.
Yeah, absolutely. That was
Okay.
fantastic. Tasty beverage, good sir.
Well, I'm glad you liked it. Like I said, it's my family's brew. Now it is it's a bit scarce, so I'm happy to serve you some more. But we are eventually going to wait. We're late for a supply. We don't know why we haven't gotten a more recent supply, but that's one of the reasons why we've had to go up on the price. But let me get you some. And he goes and he goes over to the cask and he pours it and he brings it back and he goes, "There you go, my friend."
I sure
Um, you-
now, if I may ask you, good sir.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Do you have did I didn't catch your name?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Erwin.
Erwin.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to meet you. My friends call me Rain.
Nice to meet you, Rand. I got to say, you're one of the most interesting people I believe I've ever met. I hope I don't mean that. I don't mean that offensively. As you can imagine, we don't get people that. I'm just gonna. I don't know any other way to say it. We don't get a lot of people that are your kind here, and so please forgive me if I was staring at you when you came in an unusual way.
It is. It comes with the territory.
Yeah, no, I can imagine.
All my life, especially when I pass through places. So, how long your people been in these parts?
Well, me and my family, we're from here. As I mentioned, the wine is made is made by my family.
Yes, sir.
In fact, my father, he likes to call himself the Wizard of Wines, and so we rely on him. By the way, I like to call him the Old Crow personally. But that's just a father-son thing. Maybe you understand that. But
Well,
he is my supplier, and we do take pride in what we do.
yeah, our gun Loda, you met her.
Oh, the little feisty one, yeah.
Yes, she's a feisty one there, but she makes some fine moonshine.
She mentioned something about that. I honestly can't say I've ever partaken in something like that. I will have to ask her about that. But I have a question. That one over there with the headband, is he okay?
Oh, yes, sir. That's just Jack. He's special.
It's just me.
Just Jack.
Yeah, it's just Jack.
He's special. So we're passing. We're just passing through your fine town here, and I just kind of it seems like a fantastic place. Is there? Are you concerned about your people? You said you were expecting a supply, but it hadn't come in yet. Are you concerned about your people?
Yeah. I mean, Yeah, he just did a really low insight check on you. He's trying to check your intentions, but he did a crappy roll.
I think you love me.
So he thinks you're sincere.
Very sincere, yes. Sir.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I've been. I mean, my dad and I don't get along that well, but you know, there's a family relationship, and then there's a business relationship, and it is not like him to not follow through on the business relationship.
Oh, yeah.
So, to answer your question, I am concerned that we haven't gotten a delivery in a while.
I'll give him I'll roll insight on him as well.
Sure.
That is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Yeah, he seems to be telling you the truth about his concern about his family.
Okay. Me and my little party is just kind of stopping through here. I mean, we might be able to run up and look in on him if you think that would help.
Well, I'd be much obliged, but you forgive me. I mean, we just met. What's your purpose here? What are you trying to do?
Well, sir. We met some folks where we're from, and we're just good mountain people, most of us. And we had a feller wanted to bring us to help him out a little bit and meet his folks. And well, you know how Barovia is. We've learned since it's a little bit hard to get away from here. So we're just kind of adventuring our way across the land, trying to, get some, make up a little cash to get some food and, help some folks out while we're here if we can.
And he leans in and he whispers to you. Are you the party that are traveling with Ismark?
Let's see. How should I roll this?
Do you want to
Deception check or what?
I mean, he's asking you privately, discreetly.
Right, not in a kind of a shady way. So do I get a sense that
you can roll a perception check or an insight check on that question? He's asking you a question, so you might want to roll an insight check.
Yeah, 6 of 1 on my ability there. So
try this one.
Oh well, hell, that's the same thing I rolled last time.
Which is 30, 20?
17
okay.
plus 3. So yeah.
Yeah, he is showing genuine interest and concern.
Okay.
I mean, it's a legit question. It doesn't appear to be a sinister question.
Okay. So I'm going to kind of look around and make sure there's nobody really within earshot and kind of speak back to him in a real kind
So as you look around, you're sitting at the bar closest to the table that you came from. So you're kind of off to the side. And so there's nobody really to your left. Back over your right shoulder, you're going to see some people sitting at that round table that had people at it, but they don't look like they're paying attention to you. There are some people sitting further down at the far end of the bar, but they're out of earshot.
Right. All right. Well, I'm going to kind of give him a little, a little kind of nod, but not like, I don't want to like vocally say anything, just in case. So I'll just kind of give him a little, yeah, that's what's up kind of thing.
So I'm guessing that y'all are looking to take on the man in the castle.
Well, I don't know about all that, but I know he sure is an interesting fella. We've run up on him a couple of times. He's a thing.
Yeah, well, I can tell you this, my friend. This is a place that's really hard to trust people.
Oh, yeah. I've noticed that a lot.
But I think we can maybe do a little quid pro quo here. I've got something that might help you with your larger mission. I keep it safe.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm willing to put it in the right hands that I think are worthy.
Okay.
If you can help figure out what's going on with my wine supply, I'd be willing to let you all look at it. Tell me if you think it might be useful. It's an artifact that he kind of looks around like that belonged to that man in the castle. Might
sir,
be
I'm always interested in shiny things, if you know what I mean.
well, this is not a shiny thing. This is like a volume that might give you some insight. But I don't want to say too much more about it. You help me with the wines. You help me figure out what's going on with my wines, and I'll see what we can't do to put that in your hands.
So what can you tell me about where your pappy lives?
Well, it's
or where we might find this winery.
Yeah, no, it's a fair question. I tell you what, let me. I'm not so sure that right now and here is the place to talk about it. You talk about it to your friends.
Yes, sir.
Make sure that everybody's on board with this, and I'll get with my kin here and just sort of let them know what I'm thinking, so that we'll know where to tell you how to get there and sort of what you might expect.
All right. Well, that sounds good. I'll check in with my folks here, and you do the same, and we'll figure out how to get back together. That sounds good to you.
Yeah, so I'm going to go just talk to my wife, and then she's going to bring you over a tray, and she'll kind of give you an update on to what you might need to know.
All right.
Does that sound reasonable? All right.
Yes, sir.
So he steps away.
All right.
And
so
you
I'm
step
gonna make
back
my
and you
way
go
and
talk
I'll
to
grab
your...
my mug, and I'm going to make my way back over to the table. So we're kind of away from everything, right? From the action of the main part of the bar, yeah?
Well, you're back. Yeah, you're kind of off the beaten path there a little bit.
Right. All right. So I'm going to kind of relay what I just learned from the bartender to the party, and just kind of lay it out there and see what everybody thinks about it. So I'll be like, so that's what I learned. That's something y'all sound like you might be interested in checking out.
Yeah, for sure. You get a whole lot better information than I did.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to find on the map where the winery is. That's why I'm.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
I'm buying time.
Oh no.
Well, but you know what, Rain? The other thing is, if this guy has a tome or something that's going to, tell us more about Strahd,
right?
Absolutely. I don't think we got a choice but to try and get our hands on that thing.
We just need to figure out what's going on with this feller's wine supply. Maybe we get a little something for the road.
I like it.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
That's kind of what we've been here for, to try to help some folks out,
and if we're going to leave at all, we've got to find a way to work on the man in the castle. So, right. Yeah, I'm right with you.
They really seem to be concerned about that feller here.
Yeah.
But, this whatever this artifact is, it really seems like it might be something key to this whole mystery.
Well, I'm thinking about those Taroku cards as well. Again, I'm thinking about what you were just saying sort of matches up with a couple of them. So I feel like this might be, or that this might be the direction to go.
Right. Yeah, something about a cask. So
Nest of ravens, and what did you say? What did you say he called his dad? His pappy?
The raven.
No, I said he called him the old crow.
The old crow.
The old crow.
Mm-hmm.
What was his name again? I'm sorry.
Irwin's the bartender.
Irwin's the bartender. Yeah.
His dad's the old crow.
Irwin Mardikoff is his name, by the way. He didn't tell you the last part, but I'm telling you.
All right.
And I'm just trying to find. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. This map there's so many places on this map. This is a vast place, and so it's just a matter of knowing where everything is. Okay.
I feel that way about, Canada, so.
Life in general.
Sure. So, so with that, his wife walks over, and she brings you a tray, and she's got a thing of meat on it, and then she places it down, and there's a piece of paper under it that normally would look like a napkin to anybody observing from a distance, but you, Rain, noticed that it's a handwritten note, and the note basically says that the Wizard of Wines is south and west of here, off of the Old Sphalic Road, past the Solinka Pass.
Southeast, you say?
Southwest.
Southwest.
Southwest, yeah. And so
The what pass?
Solinka. So it's past the lunar. Well, again, Ismark's not with you, so I don't want to kind of talk the way he would. But you get it's basically in the southwest, past the Solinka Pass. And there's a little, like a hand written map that identifies the Solinka Pass, so it's like at the next turnoff from there.
Are we able to tell about how far that is? I mean, do we suspect it's like a day's journey, 2 days journey?
Well, let's see here.
Did Irwin write this to scale?
Probably not.
Yeah. 1 centimeter equals 10 miles.
Yeah, it's about that far.
It's a few hours. It's a few hours away. I mean, nothing in Barovia is super far. I mean, it's probably about a 4-hour.
It's from Brevard to Rosman.
Sure. Yeah, it's
Right. Well, thank you, Mrs. Mardikova. Has she left already, or is she still hanging out?
Mardikov. And she's one of these modern ladies.
She gets tattoos?
Yes, she gets tattoos. She says
I saw
no.
that.
She says
I don't. All right, continue.
my name is Danica Dorakova, but you can call me Danny.
All right, Danny. Thank you.
Irwin says you might want to at least see what he's got as an act of good faith. So maybe one of you could follow me upstairs.
I mean, I'll never say no to following a lady upstairs.
I'm thinking you might want to send the smart one.
What does she mean by that?
I'm going to suggest that perhaps
I got an intelligence of 10, so I'm probably not your boy.
Oh yeah, no, not me.
How's your Arcana?
Never mind.
I was just making a joke about Jack. It doesn't really need to be a smart
No,
person.
you weren't.
Well, but
No, you
would
weren't.
have
You weren't making a joke.
like religious.
Aw.
Oh, I
things.
see. I see what you're saying. Yep.
My Arcana sucks, but I would think that there's a possibility that I could see something. Does somebody have a good Arcana?
I'm +0.
I've got +2, but
We could send
Well-
Gunloda.
Is it? It was just Arcana. Is there something else besides intelligence? Because I also don't have a good intelligence.
History, maybe.
have a
I don't know.
+1.
History would be good. History would be good. I mean, and actually, out of all of you, Shoshana would probably be a good choice.
I would think this is
Okay.
her jam, really.
Still insulted.
I'll second that nomination of Shoshana to go check this out.
I'll follow her.
She's also, a bit of a tank. So
So, Danny says, "Right this way, dear," and leads you up the stairs, and you go up to the second floor of the tavern, and then she takes you down part of the hallway that is clearly like their personal side of the house. It's not where the guests would stay. And she brings you into a room and closes the door, and you see Erwin coming down out of the attic, and he's clutching in his hands a fabric that's wrapped around something. And he looks at you in your paladin-esque, and he goes, and he sees the Order of the Silver Dragon marking on you. And as he looks at that, his posture almost, it's almost like he exhales, like in a very relaxing, calm kind of way. It brings him a sense of comfort. And he says, I think I've chosen wisely in at least sharing this with you all. And he pulls back the fabric, and you see this book, this wooden covered bound book that's got inlay of ornate metals, maybe copper, maybe something else that are kind of holding it. And there's a clasp that keeps it shut. And he pops open the clip, and he just kind of flips it open to a page that he's got bookmarked. And he hands it over for you to see, and you see this handwritten scrawl, and it reads, "I am the ancient. I am the land. My beginnings are lost in the darkness of the past. I was the warrior. I was good and just. I thundered across the land like the wrath of a just God. But the war and the killing wore down my soul as the wind wears stone into sand." And with that, he just sort of closes the book, and he goes, "I think you might recognize what this is and how valuable it could be. So if you and your friends can faithfully solve the problem of the wines, I will entrust this into your care." And he wraps it and he folds it over again. And he begins to take it back up as Danny is still standing in there with you. And as he ascends back up into the attic, you hear the movement and the cause of those ravens that you could see from the outside. And I think we're going to end it there tonight, guys. It's 10:22, and I think that would be a good place to pick up, where y'all can decide where you want to go after that.
Great, that was good.
Sounds good?
Yeah.
All right.
So you have officially seen the Tome of Strahd.
Woo!
But you don't have it yet. So we'll be back. I'm going to just do this part so I can stop the recording. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. Continue to watch for us on YouTube and Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We're now on Apple Podcasts, by the way. And we're working to get some website stuff set up and Reddits and all that good stuff. So hopefully,
Oh yeah, we have a Reddit.
we have a Reddit. I haven't read it.
Yeah,
I
you should
haven't.
announce that.
I haven't read it yet.
Oh my god.
Bum.
shut up.
I'm waiting for you guys to say I want to take on a role or something. But
well,
all that will be in the stuff below. Give us a like and subscribe, and I'm going to quit recording right about now.